Okay, let's make a fake carousel. This is so that players can look at other players' cards, not necessarily the hand, but just see what cards are in the hand. How many cards are in the hand? Not what cards. We don't want to cheat. Okay, so I've already created a fake carousel prefab with a bunch of cards in. Let's get rid of all of these standees, because we won't need them. Did I not call it standee? Standee? Is that these guys? Delete? There we go. So just a super basic temporary prefab. We'll make it pretty once it's all in. Okay, I have a prefab storage list inside my game scene. So I want to add an entry for my fake carousel. Where are the other carousels? I can put them in roughly the same place. Carousel. Okay, let's add an entry. Fake. 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 Okay, so whenever the player comes to this scene, they have a little library of prefabs that they can instantiate from, so we don't have to use the resources to load things in. It's the nicest way I've found how to do this. It's just a singleton. I'll show you now how I would use it. Actually, before that, let's figure out where are we actually going to put this fake carousel. So, when you're inside a game, we have all mannequins here. What we want to do is put, so we've got this nice fake carousel, this UI carousel here, that we can look through. So I've got 4 cards in my hand there. When I look at the other mannequins, I don't know how many cards they've got in their hands. So I guess I want it floating about somewhere. Let's have a look. See how they are built, and then I can add in a game object variable somewhere in there. We'll use this mannequin because I disable the current player's mannequin. We probably want to put it somewhere table level, I guess. Do we want to attach to the mannequin? Or do I want it as part of the player bit? Probably part of the player base, actually. So I would essentially, obviously I'm working while the game is running, so none of this will actually save, but it's just so I can figure out where I want to put stuff. So let's call it carousel. Oh, I wonder if we put it in the hand, actually. Because the hand has a thing here. Okay, I'm going to put that inside hand. Let's just reset that. Find the fake carousel prefab. Pop that in there. And then I guess how does that look? Let's go back to the game. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Okay, yeah. I think I'll do that. So in the hand object, this the player base is another prefab, so I'll modify that. It's a carousel. I can't stand odd numbers, so that's just not odd numbers, but like random floating numbers and stuff. Yeah, that's nice. Minus 55. Okay. So player base. There's the prefab there. See? And inside there we have a hand. And inside there I'm going to make just a carousel, which has -5. I think it's rotation. Okay, let's apply that prefab. Right. So the root base has a player hand. This controls everything to do with the player hand. That's cheating. Let's create a new carousel object. So I can get a reference to that, and then I would instantiate the fake carousel inside there. Once that compiles, there we go. Save that. Okay. So now every time I play base instantiate, I'll have a fake carousel slot. So we want to initialize. So this is in the player hand initialize. Yeah, we'll do that. So all this carousel stuff here is for the actual display carousel, which the player sees. So we don't want to modify any of that. So we'll just create a game object now. I'll probably want to go in later and then be adding and removing cards and stuff. Fake carousel. Probably later on as well, don't want to be able to see that when it's our turn, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Let's just get it instantiated first. Carousel. We are going to instantiate. Okay, so this is where I added it to the prefab game, prefab, what did I call it? Prefab storage game. Like I said, that's in singleton, so we reference it by .instance. It was in the generic list. I divided them into separate classes so that I can find things easier and sort them out better. Fake carousel. So now that will get the fake carousel prefab and instantiate it. But we want to put it at the fake carousel transform. And we'll pair it to that. Okay, let's give that a test, make sure that that is working correctly. Tell you what, when I run this, I start from the front end scene, but that takes forever. So if I go to the scene manager, change it to game info. So now instead of having to go through the front end menu, it will automatically load us into the game scene. Oh no, it will not. Play hand initialize. 941, that's what we just put in. What did I forget to do? Player base. Fake carousel is there. Is it? Was it not in the prefab storage? No, it's there. Let's put a breakpoint in, because I can't see. That carousel is full. Carousel is full. What have I done? Breakpoints are on. There we go. I called that fake carousel object. That's why. Okay, let's try that again. I was referencing the wrong object to parent the new fake carousel too. There we go. Oh, it is there. It's just that you can't see it because of the angle. For a second I was like, oh god, it's not working. It's only working for like certain we go. Jazzy. Okay. Obviously, we don't want to be able to see this when it's my turn. So do I have a function in here for start turn? No, I do not. So I have something similar. Let's just have a look at play bits, because I have something similar I think I do on other, when the player starts the turn. Yeah, they have a start turn. Okay, let's put a start turn function in player hand as well. Check to see what's the current turn. If it is the current turn, so we'll do set carousel, set active is current turn, exclamation point, so it is the opposite. So if it is the current turn, this will enumerate to false. Give that a quick test, just in case because I'm not calling it, that will not work. Should probably try and call that somewhere. Where does the play base one get called? Player hand, start turn, true, and the same for false, and that's in the player controller. Start turn. I like to split all my player stuff into components, so one thing looks after one thing, because modularization is super easy to maintain. Obviously, I don't want them there either as well. So yeah, so now I do not have it when it's not my turn. Okay, I probably want to turn it off as well at the start of the game. So we can just do that here. On initialize, set it to false. Let's put this as a little comment. That'll do. It's fairly obvious, I think, anyway, but just in case. Is my music stop playing? No, it's just quiet. Okay, so now again, just double check, that should not be there when we start playing the game. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to create a new script, I think, to pop on it. I don't have a folder for my carousel objects. Let's create one. I was going to call it folder there. Carousel. Card carousel, and carousel can go in there. I think I had a UI carousel as well. Yep. I'm creating this fake carousel though because what's happening? Because the carousel. Did I put that right place? Yeah. The carousel that already exists, you can interact with. We don't want to be able to interact with this one. This is fake. But since it's a carousel, I will lump it in with the rest of them. All of this nonsense. And plonk that on the correct prefab. Okay, let's have a think now what I want this carousel to do. I want it, for now, the reason for this is so when another player looks, when a player, current player, local multiplayer, looks at another player, they can see roughly how many cards the player has in their hand and whether they are saving cards to play later to put in the stockpile. Sometimes it's safe to keep all the cards in your hand before put them in the stockpile, because then they can be pinched, they can be stolen, whatever. But you can have, currently the UI carousel is limited to 7 cards. That's the amount. You can have more cards in there, and it'll loop round and round and round. It's like a giant circle. But it only shows 7 cards at a time. But you can have an infinite number of cards in your hand. So for now, if I try, so we'll keep it at 7. But after that, I probably want to do some sort of, so it's technically hard coded. But in the future, I'll want to change it so I can put as many cards in there as we want, so you get a rough idea. Obviously, if you have 20 cards and it's like this long, that's not going to be useful. It's going to look rubbish. Okay. Let's have a think. Because I could always have the 7 cards there that are nice and pretty. And then in the future, it could, and it'll turn off, so if there's only a few cards, it'll turn off those cards. And then it could duplicate the code when there's more cards than there should be duplicated and just start moving them along. Code. That might work. It doesn't have to look perfect, and it isn't totally representative because it's just an idea, visual guide. Okay, let's see what's happening. I think it's just start coding. I mean, that's not true. You should really think things out before you start coding, but I kind of did that. Probably want to reorganize these as well. I said that's 0, 1. Okay, so card 2. Come on, Unity. There we go. Let's just get rid of that. Card 2 actually wants to be this guy over here. Then card 3. So that will want to be 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Can I just reorganize that? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now they're in the right order. So I can turn on and off the ones that I require in correct order without having to do any code magic. Because using this method is Unity magic. Okay. And it's never going to show the actual card. I was saying if we just keep it as dead cards the entire time, so if a person accidentally looks at the other side of the cards, all they see is dead. So they're not actually, it's not cheating. So when I tell the fake carousel to display the cards, I don't need to give it any information other than how many cards it needs to display. Because it doesn't care. So, for now, that isn't how you write a for loop. If we look through the cards that exist currently, and we turn off anything over the card count, so if the card index is less than the card count, to be less than, or equals. Now we'll try it. So anything over that, it will turn off. That's right. Yes, I think so. Okay, I've got pin the player hand. Now that we've got an actual script that we want to reference, I'm going to change the instantiate code to actually return the fake carousel. We'll change that from a game object to a fake carousel reference. So fake carousel wants to be. God, that's a lot of fake carousels everywhere. So that will become game object, and then I create a little extension for the game object. Yeah, for the game object. So get required component just does a check, make sure that the component is not null, and if it is, it turns an error. So I don't have to do that every single time I get a component inside the code, which makes things nice and easy. Okay, so let's shake this up a bit. If it is the current term, we don't want to, so that wants to be false. That wants to be true. And then at the same time, fake carousel also wants to display cards with how many cards in the. Okay, there we go. So it's going to pass through the number of cards here and display. Let's test and see if that works. No, I already have an error. What have I done? Fake carousel. Probably want to cast that a little bit better. Brackets. Yep, there we go. Does it work? Can we tell? So this guy here, I'm selecting one thing. So you have 1, 2, that's hard to tell, isn't it? So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards active. Let's just check to see. Let's change that to debug. Hand card, and it's got 5 cards. So yes, I did do that wrong. Easy fix. Let's try that again. Got socks, that's a good idea to see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's handy. I should probably get rid of those actually. I don't need a real card there. But that's correct. So when I look, oh look, they've got that many cards in their hand. They've got that many, etc., etc. Okay. What happens if you have more than 7 cards? Let's take some cards into my hand. Let's put that there. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I can see 8 cards. So how many cards does this guy actually have? Let's just check and see how many cards. So he's player 1 essentially, and he has 8 cards in his hand. Oh, should probably take some more cards. So now he has 9 cards in his hand. And his turn's finished, so let's just jump back around to him. And I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many cards does this character in the carousel? Sure. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Do I literally just keep picking up dead cards? Ugh. Okay, so he's got 10 cards in his hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so for example, pickup truck. If I keep looping round, see the picker truck because it's... Let's ask Graham. Okay, I've got it in now, so you can see the cards. So this guy's got 5 cards in his hand. I guess he'll have the full 7 or whatever. And the same. Jump around to... This guy's got 10 cards in his hand. So how do we want to... So I've done it for the max at... so I've kept it, so you can only have 7 cards on this fake carousel. Should I do it then so then it generates new ones? So we can see just how many we have in there.
So I just try and generate them at the side. I think at the moment it's more important that you stagger them.
That's literally just the prefab I've created is literally just straight.
Obviously I'm at an angle, but what you can see is the person's holding a black rectangle.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's just changing the values in the prefab. I mean, I'll do that anyway, but then okay, I'll stagger them and then I'll start to generate points. And then we'll take it from there. I hate doing things like this because I don't like floating numbers and I tend to have to make them perfect. Okay. So they are nice and pretty. I want to get rid of all of these card stuff. Doesn't need any of this stuff on here. So I used the actual dead card prefab. We don't care about all this stuff, so if I just try and select. Unity? What are you doing? There we go. And we'll just remove all of this because we don't need any of this. And here's the fake cards in our fake carousel. Okay, let's also create a new reference to the card object we want to duplicate. I was going to create a new list that has a copy of all of the card list, and then every time we instantiate a new card, put it into that list. But why don't we just use this list? That'll be fine, probably. Copy there. So let's say if the card count is greater than the number of cards we have in the list, we want to duplicate and add, I don't know, let's do this in multiple lines. We want to duplicate or instantiate the card object. We then want to add the card list. And in the meantime, we will want to position it. So we want to parent it to the same place as card object. Transform? No. Transform dot parent. It's the same parent as blah blah. Okay. So in the X direction, we'll just do this bit by bit. Okay, so that looks about right. So find the index of the card that is going to be added. So for example, 7. We calculate the offset, which is what I would times this by. So if it's is left, we will do a, what do you call this, ternary? We use a ternary to say times by -1 or by 1. So if it is left, we want to do the -1 because it's gone on to the left-hand side. Yeah. Okay, that looks right. So my fake cards, well, I should probably rename those. Okay, we can probably also do the same method with the rotation, because it's a +10 rotation every time. So let's start putting some constants in. X offset, which is 0.25. I'm just going to rotate offset, so the same thing will be rotated for the time being. So let's just rotate that. Tell you what, I could probably refactor that a little bit. Set rotation. Do I have a set rotation? I do. Okay, cool. Oh, which does take a vector. Okay, so it's the y k rotate times will be the same as that, I think. And then I'll look over. Yes, okay, that's correct. Okay, let's figure out what I can do for Z. 0.3, so 0.03, 1.12, 1.24. Oh god, that's the wrong way around. Well, that doesn't fit my pattern, does it? That gap looks horrible. Let's just keep going and just seeing, out of curiosity. Yeah, that pattern doesn't work. It should have been 36. Yeah.
You're starting to get a bit technical now.
Huh?
Starting to get a bit technical.
Yeah.
Just, no.
Well, trying to get a nice curve going on, but like, so I'm doing it with the, everything was following a nice pattern and the curve was going nice, and then as soon as I get to the point where, like, I start generating it via code, the pattern falls to pieces. So, and it just doesn't look following the same rules. It doesn't.
So now you're kind of wishing that you're doing a live stream of this kind of thing for an hour every so often, and you had a few followers that were coders, so they could shout at you and say,
Yeah,
"No,
that would be
do
nice.
it this way."
Like, you're doing it all wrong. I mean, are we wanting to, because like I was saying earlier as well, are we wanting to cap how many cards? Obviously, the card list can be infinite, but if we were to have so many cards, because I could cheat and I could just generate some hard-coded Z values, because the Z values are the things that are wrong. So I could cheat and just have up to however many cards we want. Like I would just have those values rather than having to calculate them. Because I mean that's. What have I got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 11.
Yeah, that's tons, because if someone's got that many, you know they're hoarding.
Yes. So if I say that is the limit then?
Yeah.
And then that makes it easy, because like I said, then I can cheat.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to be fancy here.
I'm mostly, it's nice to have the information, because I
Yeah.
think you need the information. But
Yes.
I'm mostly concerned with how it looks,
Uh-huh.
in terms of how it fits in with everything else.
Yeah. Because otherwise like, it will start coming round on itself as well. So, okay, so if I cap it and say 11 is the max.
Yeah.
And I'll just hard code the values. Well, in that case, if I'm doing 11, I don't even need to generate the values. I'll just have the objects there. Okay, I'll do that. And then that makes things easier. How does that look? Looks. I mean, no one holds the cards like this, let's be fair. from a list. In that case, I can get all of that. We don't need that. Once I've done that, I will fix that error. That will probably be because length. Now let's see in game how that looks. Okay, so just have a look at this. This guy's got three or 4 cards in his hand, so it's quite small now, and this guy's got the full 10.
Big smiley face.
Yeah. This wants to be every time the card is added locally. It's added to the card. I'm going to update the fake carousel there. So in a network game, when a client does it, it should automatically update. I believe the fake client calls that yes. Okay. So if we only want it when the mannequin is looked at, the mannequin, what do we call the mannequin stuff? That's in player controller. Oh, let's try that again. Player controller. So I should have some mannequin stuff. Just go to the player mannequin. We have a display profile card. So whenever that happens, we also want to turn it on. Okay. So in that case, let's get rid of that. Okay, how do I turn on this mannequin? Get component parent. We probably actually want to get the player controller. Let's say that instead. I have a nice little function called this is when we're looking at I hate coming up with names of things. It's being looked at. Display UI info. Display. See if the mannequin object exists. Or display profile card. Display not true. So it's not true. So we'll say display UI info. And then also in there then we will add the player hand. Display fake carousel. Also just update it as well, just in case it's wrong. Now the display profile card turns off after so long, so basically if we pilfer that code, it's probably a better way to do this. I should put this in player controller or something, but we'll just copy and paste it. Okay, so now I'm not actually going to be doing fading in. It's going to be roughly at the same time. So let's just do this. Obviously that isn't taking into account the fade in and fade out time. We should put that in. Proof of the match will be alright. so we want to do pretty much exactly the same as that. Oh, I did a tree there. Good job, I'm getting rid of that. Oh my god. Fake carousel. Don't care about that. Display. Coroutine. No errors. That's good. Yep, there we go. So that only appears. That looks well laid over there, doesn't it? It would be consistent in keeping it by fading them in and out. Now, if they are materials, what if I actually can I do this property block? There is a way that you can modify the material, I believe, without modifying all the materials, you know? I don't know. And then can I use that? To modify the alpha. Set color. Do all of this inside here. So it's basically just like copy all that over. Okay, I don't really know how to use this, so I'm just going to cache it. That's what I'm going to do. Color is going to start off as a little hacky way around. Maybe this will work, maybe this won't work. I only care about the alpha. Oops. Don't actually want to delete it from there. I hope this doesn't treat it as a reference. I hope it is a... Yeah, no, it should be. Otherwise, when I change colour, it'll change starting colour, and we don't want that. Let's just copy off all this again. So we don't need new logic. Oops. Display routine. Okay, so we'll go back to player hand. Don't care about all this. This is completely pointless to us. Excuse me. Where's my voice gone? Oh, crikey. So instead here we say fake carousel display, and that all handles it inside. What have I done wrong? Nothing. Okay. No. Okay, I fixed it. I put the wrong. Should have been colour. Tell you what, let's make a constant out of this. Oh, I don't need those anymore. Let's get rid of those.
You recorded now and we're talking about Smarties.
No, I waited until after you finished talking about Smarties.
Now we've got Smarties.
Now we've got Smarties.
Or not Smarties.
There we go. Okay, let's demonstrate the workingness of my stuff. Boom. Bosh. Done. Woo. There we go. Done.